I was probably that kid who, looking down at the floor of the mall, was tracing out arrays of rectangles that looked interesting. Sometimes seeing patterns is almost just seeing a certain repetition of a shape. So in seeing that around me, it's fun to take those kind of problems and then create puzzles out of them. You know, I notice I get these designs that pop into my head more so at these really anxious times in my life. And sometimes I wonder if it's just a sort of channeling of anxiety, and I'm kind of wrapping it up into a little ball of creativity, and then I kind of express it, I kind of just put it out there. I usually think of the craft as actually the engineering. So to me, that's more like design. It's building something that's really strong, creating a joint. There's a point where the craft, I think, becomes an art. The craft is always behind it, but then the art comes out of the appearance, the overall look, and the feel of it. Math is inherently in woodworking. Most of the time you're dealing with pretty much basic Euclidean geometry, which is just that geometry we all learn in grade school with triangles and squares and things. And what's fun about it in woodworking is kind of the tools you use to draw the things on the paper, like a ruler and a compass. Those essentially become your tools in the shop. Math is funny. It's so structured and so, right and wrong. There's this right answer at the end of every equation. It's really getting to that answer that you get into this creative process. Another side to that is also how you make mistakes. As much as you're going to do the craft of it perfectly, you're going to make mistakes no matter what. So rather than try to avoid the mistakes, I like to actually look for them. It's like checking a dead end in the maze to know it's there. So you know that this mistake exists. And actually there's times where the mistakes will actually open a whole new door to a whole new process. I love wood. I've been told many times I should be using a different material for what I do. It is incredibly challenging to engineer. It's not a material that really stays in its form. It breathes and moves with changes in the weather and humidity. I really respond to the colors of the woods. There's some woods I rarely use because I just can't jive with the color. And being able to compose colors really adds an element to engineering. It's something that makes it more like painting. Right now it's just random. I'll demonstrate a pattern, really the most basic of your patterns. That's not chaos. As you're working your way through it, you're kind of doing a treasure hunt for these patterns and unearthing new patterns or creating new ones. And some people hate it. Some people see something like this and they go, wow, cool, I don't want to mess with it. Other people immediately pull up a chair and will want to play with it till it's done. But something I'm trying to do is sort of create something visually interesting enough that anyone who's not really solving it can really appreciate it from a distance. And it should kind of carry its own weight just as an object. So this is a round table with 10 concentric rings. The object of the table is to actually recreate these patterns on the top of the table itself. And when they're positioned just right, you'll see that pattern, and then you can open a new drawer. This first drawer, it's one of 6. So as you're working through solving all of these drawers, you're kind of folding out a different petal each time. Altogether, you'd be looking for 6 different patterns, and the final pattern unlocks all 6 drawers of this flower, and the look is really stunning. A big thing that comes in is perfection and how much, do you perfect something? I think every artist struggles with that. I get very attached, and if anything, I identify with it. It becomes a part of my identity to work on a project. You do something to the point that you really want it to be as perfect as you can get it, and then you let go of it.